All right, look, I know I said before in many of my previous videos that Kentuckians are just friendly people, okay? But in today's video, I hate to tell you and I hate to break it to you, the thumbnail is pretty accurate because I've had a few encounters lately and I just want to deliver the truth to you all because you are choosing to uproot your life, you know, for a new state and a new place to come live. And I just want you to know that this isn't Mayberry and it isn't perfect. And I've had a few encounters lately. We'll just say times are changing. Not all Kentuckians are that friendly. First, I want to say cheers to you all who end up hitting a wall at 3 o'clock like me and needing a little more caffeine to get through your day. I just realized my coffee mug matches my shirt. That was not intended, but let's get on with today's video. The worst place I notice the change of behavior in Kentuckians nowadays, and by nowadays I mean probably since COVID, but I'll get to that in a second, is the grocery store. And maybe you guys can attest to this. Maybe you're having the same experiences in your hometowns. I'd love for you to comment and tell me. Although, let's get to the comments in a little bit as well, because I have some things to say there too, as far as negativity goes, and like extreme negativity. I don't know if it's a younger generational thing. I don't know if it's because times have changed. I don't know if it's because there's such an influx of new people in new areas that nobody knows how to communicate to anyone anymore. But the grocery store is probably the worst place lately that feels like you can have a, you know, small talk, friendly conversation with someone and not feel like you're on their nerves or you're weird or you're awkward or why are you talking to them? I can testify that when Jarrett and I lived in Idaho out west, Westerners are a little bit different. And I don't mean like different in a bad way. It's just different. They're just not as talkative as Southerners. And I really feel like local Southerners still have that like small talk exchange. And if we don't make small talk about the weather or the crickets or the birds or the Louisville Cardinals, I don't know, then we'll at least, you know, wave or smile or at least make eye contact. Now, I don't know what generation y'all grew up in, but I'm a Gen Xer, Jarrett's a Gen Xer, and I'm thinking that maybe we were the last generation that was taught you make eye contact with people, you look them in the eye, and you speak when you're spoken to. I don't think our younger generations are learning that. And I think the rest of you people who are our age or older might agree. So I don't know. Is it a generational thing? Why is it that the younger generation seems to not want to engage with you at all? I mean, they really don't look you in the eye. Like they completely ignore your presence. And that's just not what we want here in Kentucky. That's not what locals around here find to be commonly pleasant to be around. Is that how to put it? I don't know. I do find that the locals will still communicate. I can still talk to the cashier at the store, you know, and that person will exchange with me unless, you know, it's a different type of person. I don't know. It just seems that less and less people want to engage with you. And again, let's go back to the COVID thing. I know COVID was very traumatic and dramatic for us all, and it changed us all in a lot of ways. I think that COVID, yes, changed us all and plays a big part in why we feel like we should all stay away from each other anymore. But I also feel like it's social media too. I don't know if you have taken on the stance that I have taken, but I don't scroll social media a whole lot anymore. It's very negative. It's very, have you ever seen the memes where maybe it's a meme, maybe it's a post, I don't know, where people, they basically say, I hate people. And I'm like, well, if you hate people, you're not going to be very friendly and make a lot of friends. None of us truly hate people. We were created to connect with each other, and people need people. So saying you hate all people and you just want to be away from everyone, I just don't find that to be very natural or healthy. And I think I can maybe speak for most of us in the Kentucky and South Central Kentucky areas that we would prefer to have people in our community that want to be friendly and speak to one another. Is that simple enough? But I just find that there's some people who, I mean, you will literally, you know, say, hey, excuse me, in the grocery store with your grocery cart, and, or, you know, sorry, I'm in your way or whatever. And I mean, nothing, like ghost you, like nothing, like not even a look in the eye, not a hi, goodbye, or kiss my booty. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, sometimes even the employees do that. And forgive me for saying, it's unacceptable. So if you're nice and you're friendly and you don't mind a little small talk, you don't mind a little eye contact, you don't mind a little wave, hi, how you doing? Smile at the grocery store. Oh, excuse me, pardon me, thank you. Not a big deal. You're gonna fit right in here. But if you're the opposite, you don't want to speak to anybody, and I mean, to the point that you're nearly rude at that point, this may not be the place for you, because the majority of us, we want that still. And believe me, that's a conversation that a lot of us locals are having. Like, what's going on? Now, I will say, outside of places like the grocery store, now, if you're just, I don't know, let's say we're at Tractor Supply, or that's maybe, I don't want to use like a specific business. If we're at the title company at a closing, or we're at a local restaurant, a coffee shop, completely different story. People will make eye contact with you. If I'm walking down downtown Bowling Green and I'm going to, you know, Kindness Cafe, there's a word we haven't heard in a while, kindness, you know, or going to one of the boutiques, people will actually smile and say hi. So I don't know what it is specifically about grocery stores. Maybe we could sum all that up to, we all just hate grocery shopping. Maybe that's just the truth of it all. Now, let's talk about the country southern wave. Remember how I said before, folks still wave to each other here? Well, we do still do that, but it's more so like on a backcountry road somewhere. Maybe it's just one truck passing another, you know, you'll probably get a wave. But, you know, if it's in a busier area, of course, nobody's waving to everybody. That's not really a thing. But even if you're in a subdivision, let's say, and it's just a single car passing another one, and chances are, I don't know why, we're getting less and less of that. Hey, how are you? Now, if it's like a smaller community that maybe is older, it's been there for a while, maybe it's a 90s neighborhood or something, you know, the folks have been there for a while, I'll notice a few more waves. But again, it's becoming less of a thing. Even driving by, if someone's sitting on their front porch, usually you get a wave. In the city, in the towns, not so much anymore. Let's talk about jealousy and southern small town gossip. Well, again, guys, I don't want this video to be like all negativity and make you feel like I'm trying to tell you that Kentucky's an awful place to be. It's totally not. I just want to be truthful with you. You've never been here before. Maybe if you are coming here and this is your first year here, or you're getting ready to come here, your first few months are going to be a little bit difficult getting to find your people. It's always like that no matter where you go. I have to be truthful in saying that, like, jealousy in some certain business aspects is a thing here in small town America. And because, you know, just naturally it's smaller population, and so, you know, maybe more competition in certain things. I mean, I can use real estate as a perfect example. You know, it's just, I guess people feel threatened by other people, and there can be some jealousy and competitive spirits, and that's something that isn't necessarily desirable about smaller towns, but it's a real thing that you can experience or not, depending on your vocation. There's also, you know, judgmental mindsets, just like anywhere else. You know, the people who say things like, you know, we don't want Californians here, stay out of my state, don't change my state, kind of stuff. And I just think that some people don't realize that, you know, those people who are trying to escape certain things, they're not trying to bring that with them. And honestly, I just think we're past the time in 2024 where we think people that are different need to stay away. So I don't really understand that, but there are still those mindsets here. And you know, if you're coming here, you might run into it a time or two. Road rage. Well, that's everywhere, isn't it? But okay, let's put it like this. Road rage really isn't that bad in Kentucky. It's really not. Just on the like busiest roads in town, which again are very few. Because if you watched any of our videos before, you know that Louisville, Lexington, and Bowling Green are the 3 largest cities here. Outside of that, It's small town America. So outside of those main arteries of those main towns, okay, fine. Let's talk about a town of 30,000 people like Elizabethtown. Dixie Highway, sure. People are gonna honk and get mad at you sometimes. But for the most part, that's not really a thing. Going up and down I-65, well, that's full of everyone from all over the country. So we're gonna have problems there. But I will tell you the truth, guys, it is way worse in Tennessee. I just noticed that people are really fast drivers. And you are in their way no matter what time of day, and you better just get out of the way, Jack, because they got things to do. So is it that bad in Kentucky? Not really. So what is it really that causes people to kind of shy away from other people and, not want to engage or look at you like you're weird, or they don't want to talk to you at all, or stay away from me? What is that? I don't know. Is it anxiety? Is it fear? There's a lot of economic tension lately. There's a lot of political tension. There's all kinds of tension, right? But I think at the end of the day, Kentucky still is such a nice, friendly place to live. I can honestly say I've raised my kids here. I've lived in this state for 23 years, and I really don't know another place where I feel the sense of community and connection that I have anywhere else. Now, there are some towns and there are some small towns where it's really difficult to make that connection. Again, it's hard to fit in with locals in a small area. There's just not that many people to connect with. And if they're from there and their family's from there, they already have their circle established. And it's really hard to kind of fit in those communities. But if you're in a bigger community where there's lots of people from lots of areas, you're going to be just fine. For the most part, Kentuckians want to be friendly people. They want to connect. And I think that the majority of you who are looking for a state where you have that small town, family connected community feel, that was a lot of words in one sentence, but I know you get what I'm saying. Kentucky has it, really does. And back to the negative comments I talked about. Some of the things y'all say in the comments, it's actually kind of comical, but some of it isn't really. It's very funny to us actually, because there's a huge difference in some of the people that comment on this channel and in some of our videos, and in the people who actually contact us to want to work with us because they're coming here and they want us to help them with their real estate transaction. Totally different night and day person. So if you're watching this video and you're like, I really like Jarrett and Val's content, this is valuable, I'm thinking about moving to Kentucky, I'd like to reach out to them, and then you go to the comments and you see some of this stuff, now you'll know what I'm saying, because I'm saying that it relates to this video because there's people out there who just, they just say what they want to say. We can refer to them as sometimes basement dwellers. We refer to them sometimes as trolls, the internet trolls, the people who have nothing better to do than say awful things about whatever they think is on their minds that day, and they think they know the answers to everything, and so they comment and tell you all about how wrong you are, how awful Kentucky is, and all the awful people who live here, and also attack you personally and say things like, well, you know nothing because you're old, and things like that. Negative comments are just part of being on the internet. And if you can't hang, you shouldn't do things like start a YouTube channel. My point is, a lot of those people aren't from here, but some of them are. And it's funny to me. They'll watch and they'll say the most awful things about Kentucky and Kentuckians, and they just bash our channel and rip it apart. And maybe not necessarily our channel, but maybe the topic of what we were discussing that day. And how awful the mosquitoes are, and all the roadkill up the sides of the roads. And I'm like, where are y'all driving? Because I see a few animals. Yeah, we're gonna hit a deer from time to time, or a possum. There's a lot of them around here. But it's not like so awful that there's just like carcass everywhere. So they can get a little extreme with the comments. Most of the time we leave them up because honestly, even some of the stuff that's kind of negative helps our videos get pushed. So we're gonna leave it. If it's not very offensive, to people in general, or Kentuckians in general, or offensive to us personally, we'll probably leave it up. But yeah, people have said things like, awful things like Kentucky's just full of toothless drug addicts and things like that. And it's like, okay, yeah, that comment's getting removed because Kentucky's a heck of a lot more than just the bad and awful things that happen in the world. I'd like to come back on with Jarrett and we'll literally do like a a video, if y'all find it interesting or funny at all, of literal comments that we've gotten. I just wanted to say that the good folks that are out there that do appreciate the beauty that Kentucky offers and the things that Kentucky is, all the good positive things, you guys are the people who contact us, who call us, who want to work with us, and don't pay attention to the negative comments. Here he comes. I tapped on the window. I'm going to get him to come in and tell y'all what he thinks about the negative comments.
What's up?
just want them to see that you agree that night and day difference between some negative commenters and the people who actually we work with, who contact us through this channel.
So you're talking about the keyboard warriors.
The keyboard warriors. There's another word for them. We talked about them.
Those guys. There's something else. But it's funny because Kentucky sucks. It's a bunch of toothless wonders. Blah blah blah. And then we get the guy who calls and's like, my state sucks. I hate it here. Everybody's so nice there. You guys are awesome.
Kentucky's the greatest.
Right. And so I think it's kind of weird because like it's kind of hard to say because like most people, like true Kentuckians, like, you know, been here and like I'd say like my family. I'll just talk about my family.
Yeah, that's fair. But I know where you're going with this.
They never get outside of Kentucky. So like most people that are from Kentucky, they vacate. The majority of the people from Kentucky vacation in the Gulf, or they go to Pigeon Forge, the Smoky Mountains, and that's where
we have patterns,
and that's what they do.
And we stay in our box. I see where you're going.
And they never get outside of that. So they're like, why would you want to come to Kentucky? It's, you know, there's nothing here. It's, you know, it's this side or the other. And I'm like, for us especially, we've been all over the world. I'm like, this actually doesn't suck. It's quite charming. The people here are really friendly.
And it's quiet.
It's quiet. It's not, you know, it's much more expensive than it was, but it's not expensive compared to somewhere y'all are from.
And I think it's a mindset thing.
100%.
Perspective. And you are who you hang around.
And
you hang around the negative mindsets, well, guess what?
That's what you get, yeah. And Kentuckians are from the Appalachian descent, and Appalachian heritage typically says you don't leave home.
That is true. A lot of people just stick around here, and it's not a negative thing. It's just what it is for the most part.
There is a song by Blackberry Smoke called A One Horse Town, and if you listen to that, you have now discovered what Kentucky kind of is like to local folks. But yeah, so I think it's funny. The comments that Valerie's absolutely right. The keyboard warriors, you know, they're really tough behind that keyboard and their username of ABC123.
Right.
But, you know, like, it sucks. But then it's funny. It's like, we got a comment one day.
Oh, you're ruining the town.
Ruining the town, sorry.
Well, who's ruining it?
We are. By bringing all these people in. They're just running this part of town. Blah, blah, blah. And then, the very next video further down.
Single-handedly ruining the place.
We're running it. And I should have subtitles. But, and then they're
like... You do. Our lovely editor will add subtitles for you.
And then...
We're ruining the place.
Ruining it.
Ruining it.
The next thing they start talking about a place of business and how awesome it is. And I'm like, you can't have it both ways. We're either running it or this is the greatest place ever. It's not both. And so we get a lot of that. But I'm going to jump out of this video. But I think
you covered it. You said what I've been talking to them about for the last several minutes. And I think you jumped right in and kind of validated my point that, you know, Kentucky's not awful. And there's just, those people are everywhere.
And I've said for years, and I tell everybody this, to me, we're in the sweet spot of the country because we're far enough south, everybody's friendly. We're far enough north, everybody's normal. And if you're from the south, I'm not saying you're not normal.
It's a joke.
And if you're from the north, I'm not saying you're not friendly. But it's just we're kind of in that sweet spot of the country where everybody's pretty good to each other. All right, I'm sorry, but I'm done. So I'll let you finish your thing.
Okay, thank you. Let's give Jarrett a round of applause. Pat on the back. We'll see you in the next video.
In other words, get out of the frame, fool.
That was the end of my coffee conversation today. I need to heat mine up. It's getting a little chilly at this point. I hope the video was helpful. And if you're coming here, you know, and you need someone to help you get from state A to state B, we've got something really awesome coming up for you. that I know is going to be helpful to you. And if it's available, you know, a couple weeks from now after this video airs, it could possibly be in the link below. But if not, our contact information is, and you're welcome to reach out. Jarrett and I would love to help you get to Kentucky and, you know, ignore as many people as you want to while you're here. Just kidding. All right, y'all, have a good week. Talk to you soon. Hey, listen, you want to know something else that's weird? Like weird. Okay, sometimes in the summer, we have ice cream trucks. Remember, like from back in the day? Yeah, we have those here sometimes. The ice cream truck will go by in the little communities. One just went by a little bit ago, and I'm not kidding, after the little ice cream truck, you know, bell music, there was a scary clown laugh. What the heck was that? I don't know what happened to today's ice cream trucks as compared to yesteryear's ice cream trucks, but my kids ain't getting ice cream from that scary clown truck.